Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host Antigua, with me like always is Noah Bailey. So, Spider-Man. Um, Today we're finally going to be talking about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Oh boy.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
That's a lie. It was perfect.
Oh my god.
like I
I
I
go. Just
I
go.
like walking out of the theater, my brother and I were just in awe at just how good that movie was. And I made this comment where it's like, it is bonkers that within a month of each other, Tears of the Kingdom and this movie released, and they're both sequels to the best things ever, and they're both better than the best things ever.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
like we are eating right now. Like, what is?
Well, no. I mean, that's kind of what I was saying. I was kind of like, yo, like, because again, like, with the whole Zelda thing, it was like, all right, if this game is just on par with the last one, it's the greatest thing ever. And it's like, I'll do you one better. It's like, no way, it's somehow better. And then
Right?
this one, you're like, okay. Let's. It's gonna be pretty good. We know it's gonna be good. Let's see. And then you're like, no, they did it again. Like, oh
like,
my, but it,
like,
but it's dude, it's like the animation is so fluid. It's ridiculous. Like this felt like there some of these sequences. I'm like, this looks like it moved like live action. It was so perfect with how they move, how little, like the details are insane. There was just a glob, just extreme amount of references,
mm-hmm.
everything you could possibly think of. They put freaking Josh Keaton's Spectacular Spider-Man in it, man. Like
They
they
did.
did not hold back.
Yeah, and I just adored so much how they incorporated the different art styles of the different universes. Like we got a little taste of
Yes.
that in the last movie, but the fact that we actually went to Gwen's universe and it was like an oil painting, and like the background
Yes.
changed colors depending on emotional states, like just oh, it was beautiful.
And it made sense. It's like, oh, that makes sense for this person's character, and like, just like, I don't know, man.
hmm
Like, oh,
And like just visually, it like okay, so you can just tell more effort went into this movie than almost any other movie combined. Like, like the fact that in the first movie they made a very they made it a choice to animate Miles at a different frame rate from the other ones to make just to visually showcase that he is less experienced. But then when he actually like fully became truly Spider-Man, he started swinging with at the same frame rate as the others, and that still carried over in this movie to the point where when Hobie is on screen, each individual like piece of him, which is already
yeah.
visually great, is animated at a different frame rate.
And it's crazy because it
You
works, but
didn't
it's
have to do
like,
that, but it works so well.
no. It's like, and he's in a lot of the movie.
Uh-huh.
He's not just like in the corner one time. He's in like most of the movie,
Right? And he
and it's crazy because they do it with him swinging, walking, everything,
he's constantly
and
changing
it's so
colors. The pieces are interchanging. Oh
yes,
man.
yes, like things he touches, like it's just like
hmm
it's insane, like how cool it is. Like it's
And
wild.
I loved the Renaissance vulture. Like that was fantastic.
I was so random.
Just yeah, just clearly this movie took 5 years to make, and like that's like wow. But like it's not even just visuals that were like made me want to weep. Like the music in particular, I think was this movie's like strongest point, which is saying something. Like I listened to that final track like on the way on my ride home from work today, and like legitimately, I almost teared up like just listening to that song because like in the theater, obviously, like which we'll get to that like actual ending later, but like you're just sitting there just like seeing everything just like happen all at once, and like the music is building and building all these different like pieces of different like character melodies are like interlocking in beautifully, like a little bit of Prowler's theme, a little bit of Gwen's theme, Hobie's theme, Spider-Man's theme, like all of it just building and building into this orchestral masterpiece. And just in the theater, like it just like came to a pitch that he continues like, oh, like I wanted more so badly. And not even just that, just music throughout was amazing.
Yeah. No, the song choice really cool. Like I really liked going to like I forgot what it was, like the India Spider-Man thing, and that the music was very like God, it just I don't know, everything just felt so like even though we kept flowing to different art styles and different places, everything seemed to flow so naturally and it just worked, and you never felt like I don't know how to say visually lost, if that even makes sense. Like it always like even though we were putting people in different things where they didn't technically merge, it still worked out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, to the point where, when all of those spider people are chasing Miles, like none of them looked out of place, even though they like
no.
maybe were trying to with some of them. Like, none of them looked out of place. It all looked very fluid, very good. Yeah, like you would think someone like Hobie would look out of place in the India style, but no, it looked great.
It works.
Yeah. And also, this was just a really, really funny movie as well. Like,
Yes.
my favorite joke in the whole movie probably was, actually two, was both with his dad. One,
Yes.
he's like, Miles jumped after the spot, and he's like about to jump. He's like, okay. Cut to him walking down the stairs. Oh, that's so
Look all
good.
that. Look how that was so funny. No,
Like,
honestly, I just love the part where he's like after like they tell him, and he's just like, yeah, my son, yeah, it's like maybe you should get off his like bro, my theater lost it, bro. Like, you were just kind of like I don't know what it was, but like that first like the first like 15 minutes or however long it is with him, like that is hilarious. Like I was cracking
yep.
up the whole time.
Like you created me. Like Spider-Man, why did you create that guy?
Right? He's like, hey, that guy. He's like, hey, what?
I
Like,
didn't create that guy. You like,
right?
Spider-Man, why did you create?
But it felt so genuine. He was visibly like, hey, bro, what the heck? The spot, of course, like just being this like as stupid as advertised at first, and it just kind of just didn't sense. I love how also the freaking like what are those things called? Bodegas, right?
Yeah.
They're called bodega. Yeah, the bodega owner like being Jamaican, he brings the baseball bat around. I was like, yeah, that sounds like New York. That's way more. Also, the random Venom cameo thing,
Right.
like at the convenience store with the old lady, I was just like that
That's
made
funny.
no sense, but I love
Yeah.
it. Like, yes,
And I loved the Lego segment. I love Legos. And like Phil Lord and Chris Miller, they directed the Lego movie, so it was only natural that a Lego Spider-Man would be in this.
and he's one of their best, of
Yep,
course.
apparently.
Like how even he had one. He was just like, yep.
I also
Legos.
love how J.K. Simmons is a
Yes!
consistent part of every universe.
Yeah, dude, I was so happy about that. It was so funny. It's like, yeah, it doesn't matter what universe. It's so great. Spider-Man's a menace. Oh man, that's so good.
And yeah, speaking about the spot, I didn't know anything about the character going in. I didn't know what to expect. Like I knew he was kind of a more jokey villain from the comics, but like I didn't know if he would just be like the first act villain, or if he would actually be a big deal, or whatever. But like, he, him being the guy they hit with a bagel.
That was
Perfect.
probably just the like one of the funniest choices that I just love so much
Uh,
because as soon as he said it, I was like, oh, he's the
no.
bagel. Because we knew, because that was one of my favorite jokes because he
Mm,
throws the bagel and when he hits it, it just says bagel.
right?
It doesn't say
Like,
pow or pop, it just
and
bagel. And like he's like, you hit me with a bagel. I'm like, oh, he's the bagel
right?
guy.
And like, I wonder at what point did they decide he was the bagel guy? Because there's no possible way.
No.
There's no
Oh no.
way during making the Into the Spider-Verse was like that guy's important. No way. But like, it was a thing where they're just like writing the movie, and it's like, okay, so he's uh like the Spot is a guy who works at whatever. Oh man,
Mm-hmm.
Alchemex. Yeah,
He's just
he
a scientist,
yeah,
yeah.
he's a scientist that works at Alchemex. He got hit by the portal, whatever. He got his powers. Like, did they like? Did they work backwards from there to be like, what if he's this guy? And that's why he's mad at Spider-Man, or did they like know that he was a mean and like wanted to work that into the story?
Oh,
Yeah,
100% just knew it was for the memes. Like they know. It's
but it
like
worked.
because again, that was one of the funniest moments in the movie. And it's just like we have a chance here to like just make this infinitely funnier.
Uh huh.
And it worked. I mean, that's hilarious. The bagel guy is the ultimate villain.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's I don't know. It's just that's so stupid funny. I love it. Like
Yes.
watching like I've seen that like we've seen the first one so many times. So just like I love how it just like you just know instantly exactly what they're talking about. You're just like that's a perfect choice. Because again, it could just be a bagel joke and it's still amazing. But the fact that it's now just become part of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a canon event. Or the
Right.
bagel guy, you know what I mean? It's like, oh my god. It's beautiful, honestly. I love it.
and yeah, just him just becoming this infinitely powerful multiversal threat by the end of the movie was not
Mm-hmm.
what I expected. But again,
No.
like not only was he did he just become this like, visually stunning presence, the music that hit with it just made you feel just that sense of dread that I know it was going for, and just it was yeah, it was a lot more than I thought. than, they did a lot more with him than I thought they would, which is nice.
Yeah, no. I mean, I only heard of him through the 90s cartoon.
Mm,
And while he wasn't, I mean, he was a fairly confident villain, but his potential with his abilities was almost universe destroying. So, like,
mm,
it was like, yeah, this could go crazy, but I didn't think he would be like, yeah, I'm basically taking over the universe kind of thing.
right.
But I like it. I'm all for it. I think it's
Yeah.
really cool.
Hmm. If I had to like maybe gun to my head throw one criticism at this movie, it would maybe be like you could maybe argue that the pacing of the like middle third was technically a little weird, considering like the Spot goes into the giant portal, gains infinite power, starts to eat Mumbattan, and then Miguel takes the team back to his place, and we spend 20 minutes in Nueva York just doing stuff. Like I know it is like important story and character stuff, but like it seems like Miguel has bigger fish to fry than at this moment. You know, talking to Miles, like I feel he should probably focus a little more on stopping Spot. If he,
Yeah.
although maybe you could argue he doesn't want to stop Spot since him killing Miles' dad is a canon event, so he's kind of blinded by that. I guess I don't know, but
Yeah, possibly. And he's also trying to teach Miles a lesson
yeah.
as well. I do think it's wild though that they literally got every other Spider-Man pretty much in existence are like, nah, not this one. Because like I understand the whole argument of, oh, you're not supposed to be Spider-Man because this universe and that whole thing with that was great, but it's
Mm.
kind of one of the things where it's kind of like he still like did awesome. He saved, you know what I mean? He
Yeah.
saved, everything in the first movie and with all that. And I feel like that was kind of messed up by Miguel just to be like, nah, I don't want him. And I know that's part of the arc of the story and everything, but it still felt like, really, that doesn't make any sense. But you just handing these things out like they're party favors and like, nah, I don't want him.
I mean, you could, because there are infinitely many spider people, there is a pretty high chance that, that he just didn't seek out ones who he knew wouldn't go along with what he was doing and just didn't give them the risk thing. But
But that doesn't make sense though, because like I feel like most of them wouldn't theoretically, and at the same time, it's also like it can't because I thought first I was like, oh, maybe because his canon event hasn't happened yet. But then you look at it, and then the Indian Spider-Man one, we literally stopped it from happening. So obviously, his hadn't happened yet. So it's like, okay, that's not it. So is it just because he's not the original Spider-Man from his universe?
I
I
guess
guess would be the argument.
it
But
is also very interesting how when Miguel calls other spider people to go with him to track down Miles at the end, the two he calls are Spider Woman, Jessica Drew, and Ben Riley, who was great. I love Ben Riley.
I forgot about that.
Andy Samberg
He's like
killed
so
it.
over the top. It's great.
And it's interesting that all three of them aren't really Spider-Man. Like, Miguel gets his powers from a freak science accident. He's not even like he didn't get bit by a spider. He got his DNA spliced like manually by a crazy scientist. Jessica Drew is kind of a she's not a clone, but she like as a like she has various different origins, but like I think the one they're going for is like while her mom was pregnant, her mom got hit by this DNA gun and giving the baby spider powers. So also not bitten by a spider. And then Ben Riley is a clone.
Right.
So all three of them aren't true Spider-Men. So it's interesting, like that is like his elite squad of people to go after Miles to stop him from stopping the canon event when none of them really in in Miguel's like perfect vision of what spider people should be, it seems like they aren't it. That's interesting.
That is weird. That is weird too. Yeah, I don't get that. But I mean, they could. There's a lot that we may not know.
Yeah.
Partially too. So I mean, that's the thing about these. Like, while this is still an amazing movie, it's like you can't fully grade it until the other half comes out because there's a lot of things that if this pays off, that makes it better or not.
It is also pretty telling that there was not a single one of those spider people was Silk, who Silk is a spider person who was bitten by the same spider that Peter Parker was, which also shouldn't happen. It's interesting how it's just how would that go down? Like what would Miguel think of that? I guess.
Oh, I'm about to say that. His criteria is kind of flawed, but I don't know.
Yeah. Like,
did you think it was odd that outside of obviously Gwen and Peter B, we didn't really get many of the other returning spider people as much?
We got Penny for a second.
Yeah.
I don't really mind it. We got Spider Hams, like he had like talking like from the first movie.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna at least be in the second movie in some capacity.
Right.
I think with so much going on, they wouldn't have been more than a 5-second cameo anyway. So I'm fine with it.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Because there was a lot of new stuff going on, and that's fair. I guess a lot of the scenes where it kind of feels like it's Miles against the world, you would think, oh, his people are going to have his back. Granted, Gwen wasn't as supportive as one would expect either, but still.
Yeah. I lost it when Donald Glover's Prowler showed up.
And he just looks so like, why am I here, man? Like it was just
Yep.
kind of like it was one of those things where you just that was not expected at all, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad it's here. The only thing in live action, it's just Donald Glover and a Prowler suit, just
Right?
like
Like, I mean, it makes complete sense that
100%.
within the universe of these movies, like the live action movies exist in live action. So yeah, they would have a different art style here. Like that makes sense.
Yeah,
And we
that's
even like got
hilarious.
archival footage of Sam Raimi and Andrew Garfield
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man. So
I did see that. Yeah.
yeah, and then a reference to uh, No Way Home, which is interesting that this movie called the MCU Earthworth that they call the MCU Earth 199999, which is the comics designation for the MCU, but in the MCU they call themselves 616. And Kevin Feige is like, yes, this is 616, but other stuff is calling it 199999. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's one of those things where it's kind of like it's like the whole DC Earth One argument, where it's like whoever's Earth it is going to call themselves Earth One.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you're gonna have to just kind of do like. So of course they're gonna call themselves a different number than what's the
Right.
like universally accepted if they're not a part of it,
Yeah.
so to speak. So it
Like
makes
yeah,
sense.
the Christine in Multiverse of Madness, like their Earth was 838. They just called us 616. They could just be. That's just what they call it in that. Yeah,
Exactly.
and then Mysterio was just lying, so he's not he, like him calling. It wasn't even like
Right. So that's what. Yeah. Like that was entire. I mean, that whole thing was made up. So it's
yeah.
like
He just happened to guess the right number that there, Christine, that whatever. um, whatever. But yeah, it's let's talk about that ending. Wow,
good.
I like I I picked up on it's like the machine like going into his eye and scanning the 42 on his DNA. Like I saw that and I was like, a, like something triggered my mind. It's like I wonder if he's gonna go to the wrong dimension. Like is that where we're going? Like I didn't want to like say anything to my brother in case I was spoiling it or if I was wrong. But like,
Mm-hmm.
and then like he's swinging through this like kind of dark like off-putting world. Like the same
Right.
art style, but it looks you know
Just different enough.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and just the visuals. I love whenever it, like flashed on like the spot being like a part of Miles, almost like it just. Oh, that was crazy. uh, it's like swinging and just again the music was fantastic, and then him talking to his mom while Gwen is outside about to like go in. It's
Mm.
like oh, and then his uncle showed up. I was like, oh no, like where are we?
Yeah, like what? Like you think it's like, is this a dream? Like what's going
Uh huh.
on?
And then did you also think when Miles was tied up and he just punched the bag and that explosion happened? Did you think he just killed him there? Like,
I mean, I didn't like. I didn't think he killed him because it was kind of like there's no way, but it was kind of like, oh no.
right?
Like I won't lie though, I was expecting a whole first rule. Don't watch the eyes, watch the hands thing or whatever. I was like, but they might do that in the next one.
I'm
I don't
sure
know,
because
but
the like very last shot is him like touching the ropes. Like I think he's gonna break out, but like
yeah, of course.
he was still figuring out. He didn't want to like reveal too much, I guess, until he figured out what was
Right.
going
It's
on.
like learning information first.
Yeah,
But no,
and
that reveal at the end was sick. I was like,
oh,
I kind of was like, oh, I know what's gonna happen.
uh,
But it was like, let me be sure. I'm like, oh, that's it. Oh my gosh.
mhm. And then just to be continued. My brother didn't actually know it was a part one. Like,
Oh, you
yeah,
didn't?
like
No, me
he just
neither.
didn't know.
No.
because it was changed very quickly after the first trailer came out.
Right.
Like we knew because we were keeping up with it, but
Yeah, we had known going
he
in.
just didn't. He was ready for a sequel to Spider Verse, and like because I knew there was like a couple of times where I was like, is it ending? Is it ending here? Like is
Yeah,
like
yes.
is it gonna end with him like he gets teleported, movie over? Like is it? There's like one other. There's like a couple of other moments where I'm like, is this it? But no, they ended at the right time. That was good.
Yes. That was a perfect stop.
Like I have never felt a diametrically feeling this sense of overwhelming dread while also feeling so energized to watch more. like, ah,
I mean, it's just so good because you could just feel how much like effort and love was put into this. Like every scene, just you could just feel the blood, sweat, and tears in just every moment. There's no laziness. There's no shortcuts. It's just
mm-hmm.
hurt. I mean, it's perfect animation. I mean,
Yeah, like it's like legitimately, it's as close to a 10 out of 10 movie, even though you don't even like really know the ending. Like people who say, I do take an issue with people who are like, I can't really rate it or I don't really know what to think because it's not a
yeah.
full movie. Like it kind of like it is though because like
Well,
Gwen went through an entire character arc. Like Miles,
yes.
like I think like his like he went through he went through a character arc with his mom and it didn't resolve in the way you thought it would, but like it did. He did go through like a hero's journey. Like there were character beats that were brought back around as far as this movie goes, but also like I think movies should do parts more often. I think we as a society should allow that to happen. And I know
I agree.
the new Mission Impossible is going to be doing that. The next Fast and Furious movie is going to be doing that. Like we're still doing it, but like
Not as much.
Before Infinity War, we didn't really get to do that very much. And I think more movies should be open to without people being like, it's not a full movie, so I hate it. It's like, shut up. Like, wait,
Well, no. I
calm down.
mean, I see. Okay, so I do kind of see the whole it the story per se is not wrapped up, so there I can't fully rate everything. Now, by no means do I think, oh, I can't tell if it's good or bad. Obviously, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not be stupid. But it's kind of like even with Infinity War, it's like it's epic, but it's like until I know how it resolves, not every single thing can get its full points because it's like, well, how is this gonna be, resolved? Is this gonna lead to what I think it's going to lead? Because I mean, there's
Mm.
still a lot going on. We still don't have Miguel's full thing yet. I mean, he's probably going to get a whole arc change in the next one.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be a lot of resolution, obviously. So it's kind of like, wow, what we did see was amazing. You can't say everything was perfect just yet. Everything that was planned to be finished at this point was excellent. But again,
Mm.
it's like rating a meal while there's still like parts still cooking. It's
I
like,
see. Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Like everything I've eaten up to this point is stellar.
Yes.
The last bite of the last part of it could give me food poisoning, but up until this point, it's very good. like,
Right. It's like being a straight A student, but we still have, it's only midterms. You know what I
right.
mean? It's like it would be extremely difficult for you to drop the ball at this point,
Mm.
but we still have more to do.
Right.
So it's kind of like that for me. But again, everything by all means has been excellent so
Mm.
far. Like there's no doubt about it. But
Yes.
and again, I love how since they took their time with this, we don't have to wait that long. It's
Right.
not going to be another 5 years.
I, if I had to put money on it, as much as I would love for that movie to come out yesterday, I, I don't think that movie's coming out in March of next year.
You don't think so?
I,
You think they're going to do? What do you think? Summer, maybe?
let
Maybe
me think.
later.
What do you think was coming out next summer? Because I think June worked pretty well for this movie since it's
Yeah.
far enough removed from the most recent
Guardians.
MCU with Guardians. Like there's a decent break there, and I think whatever's coming out next year, it's Deadpool 3 now. There was we'll get into it later, but there was like
Oh, so
a
I
big
don't know.
shakeup with what's
Yeah.
coming out next year. But I think June, if it has to get delayed, I think like a 3 4 month delay would be fine.
Totally fine. Totally fine. And I forgot that originally, Tears of the Kingdom got delayed because it was supposed to be 2022 originally. And,
Yep.
obviously, no regrets. It's
Right.
great. But it's like, I forgot it even got delayed because it's
Mm,
like, oh, well, as long as it's good, we don't care. As long
right.
as it's not like
And
10 years.
in that instance, Al Numa, the game director, he essentially was like, yeah, the game was probably ready to go by summer of 2022, but we held it back a whole year just for extra polish. Like, good. More games
And
should
it
do that.
is.
It is
Because, and
polished.
again,
Yeah.
right. And there's like, I mean, I have yet to see anything really buggy at all.
No.
Nothing's really, I've noticed. Granted, I like some of the glitchy stuff they had in the original, but again, I like how they kind of just like kept this
Mm-hmm.
pretty,
Like we need to make
polished.
certain that the fuse mechanic, that the ultra hand, everything works flawlessly. It did,
Yes.
as far as I can tell, it does.
Pretty much does, yeah.
Yeah. So if they need to delay Beyond the Spider Verse a couple of months or even a whole year, if you need to, delays for that movie are not going to worry me. Whereas
No.
stuff like The Flash, which comes out in a couple of days supposedly, like delays for that movie worry me. Like delays for certain
Well, it's not just
things.
delays though. They had lost directors.
Yeah.
I mean, they basically started from scratch like twice.
Exactly. Like major shakeups, major delays for certain projects is good for certain things. And like, is this actually happening? But like Beyond the Spider Verse is obviously happening. Take all the time you need to make it literally, you know, this has potential to be the best trilogy of all time. Like
Yeah,
not even close. Like you can say all you want about Spider, like you said, all you want. Well, Spider Man, I guess. Spider Man 3 and kind of 1 and half of 2 exist. You can say all you want about Star Wars. You can say all you want about the Dark Knight, etc. But
no.
like literally the only reason you would like something like, I don't know, let's say Lord of the Rings more over Spider Verse is if you just like live action more for some arbitrary reason. Like that's the only reason I could think you would like it more, and I think that's a little nearsighted or like closed minded if you think that way.
Yeah, I mean, they got each their own, but yeah, no. I mean, so far you've got. We all know the original's 10 out of 10.
Yes.
This one, pretty much, yeah,
Yeah.
10 out of 10, not 11. So
Right.
like we're pretty. Yeah, we're about as good as you can get so far in. It looks like the next one's. I mean, they're hyping it. You know what I mean? Like it. The way this one ended, it looks like it's gonna be more
Mm-hmm.
of the same. They're gonna add even more stuff.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah. Like this movie, unless anything else, just like groundbreaking comes out, this movie is an easy shoe in for best animated picture of the year. It
Yes.
probably should win best movie of the year if we're being honest. Best direction, best art design, best score. Like these are things that if Hollywood were serious, this movie would be in the running for
Yeah.
all those. It should have won for at least best score should have won for 2018. But best editing also is a weird one that anime movies for some reason just never get, even though animation is all editing. So why aren't you
Yes.
like?
Maybe that's why, because it's literally editing from the jump.
Uh,
But I mean,
but
like I agree, but like I agree that shouldn't exclude it. But I guess because it's like I don't know. I don't know.
yeah,
It's kind of like, is it really editing if it's all like animated, or is
I
it
mean,
just continuing to animate?
you still have to like edit shots together. You still have to like. Yes, it is.
No, I mean, I know it is, but I'm just saying. I think that's the mindset
Right.
that other people are kind of coming from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's if you haven't seen it yet, please do. I'm gonna see it again,
Please
and
do.
probably that's like I don't want to sound harsh, but like legitimately, if I ever saw if I within the time it's out in theaters, if I saw somebody that was like, "Hey, have you seen Across the Spider-Verse yet, and they say no, I'm gonna wait till it comes to streaming, I would do things to them. Like I would at least punch them in the face. Like
No,
like
can't threaten
what?
people.
But this movie is a movie that
You
demands to be
say, no,
watched in
come
the
on, we're
big.
gonna go see it again, and then you grab them and force them to your nearest movie theater. We don't hurt them. We politely
Fine.
insist they watch it with you, or else.
This is a movie that demands to be seen in theaters, like on the biggest screen possible.
It does. It's like, and especially with the surround sound and everything too. Like you need that. It adds so much elements to it. Like it just, you need the full immersion.
Yes. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Please.
Yeah.
Moving right along to something I kind of brought up earlier. There were some major MCU restructuring happening, which, again, I feel so vindicated. Me saying the day this was announced, there was no shot. There was no shot that Secret Wars was coming out. Are you kidding me? 2026? No.
You did say straight up. You were like, "There's no way they're doing two Avengers movies right after each other the same year."
Yeah, no. But before this happened, Captain America 4, which has actually since been renamed to Captain America: Brave New World. Whatever.
Brave New World, New World Order. It. I will say it does kind of imply a lighter tone. I don't know if that's actually going to be the case, but Brave New World sounds a little more, I guess, died down than New World Order. Yeah. New World Order implies we're shaking things up.
Yeah, two things on that. I agree. I think the title New World Order rolls off the tongue a little better, but also it kind of has anti-Semitic like connotations. Obviously, I don't think they meant that, but like this idea that there's like this shadowy force that's like controlling the stuff to like go towards this New World Order, like that. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, like, I didn't think about that.
I don't think they intended that to happen. I think it's,
no.
They literally only named it that because that's the title of the first episode of the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. So they want to be like, this is the sequel to that. The sequel to that is the first episode, and that's a cool little connection.
Yeah, a little parallel.
But people don't pay attention to show titles. Like they don't show show title names. Like, whereas with it being a movie, maybe you want to, not have people ask those questions. You can deny it all you want, but if the movie has even any kind of hint at anything that's, this is probably for the best. Because they have picked a different name. We'll see once the movie comes out. But yeah, Brave New World, whatever. Yeah, originally that was supposed to come out next May. But now Deadpool 3 is coming out on May 3rd, 2024, which actually got moved up like 6 months, which is weird because it started filming a couple of weeks ago. So I guess it's almost done. At least they're confident enough in it for it to be released in less than a year. Okay, that's cool.
I mean, I believe in them.
Yeah. With Captain America 4 being delayed 2 months into July 2024, which that's fine.
Yeah.
With the Thunderbolts being delayed from July all the way to December of 2024, like Christmas 2024.
Like
usually, outside of Spider-Man, which Sony actually picks the release dates for Spider-Man movies. Usually, MCU movies are released in November, but this is December, which is a choice. See how that works out. And then Blade was pushed to February of 2025, which feels... it feels like, to me, I don't know if this was like an active choice on their part, but it feels to me like when they were trying to decide when to push Blade to, essentially they were like, "Oh, Black Panther did very well during Black History Month. Maybe Blade will too."
You know, I know that's probably exactly what happened,
Mm,
but like to be honest, that's not really a bad idea.
yeah.
Because like I hate to say it, but that probably won't work. To be
Yeah.
honest.
um, so yeah, Blade is now Valentine's Day 2025. Fantastic Four is now May 2025, which that was originally going to
Okay.
be November of 24. So that's pushed a whole 6 months.
Yeah. But again, it's probably the big one, so May makes sense.
Yeah. Kang Dynasty, May 2026. Secret Wars, May 7th, 2027. Yeah. That,
Yeah.
yeah.
And again, I don't mean to say this to be like controversial, but I think pushing that whole Kang stuff down the road's probably good PR wise for obvious reasons. So
Yeah. Like, at this point, cause especially considering the Secret Wars comic, at least like originally heavily featured Doctor Doom anyway, and you're just now doing Fantastic Four, like, you might as well just go all in on him being like the phase villain. Especially
yeah,
since, like, as
definitely.
far as I know, Loki hasn't come out yet, but as far as like general audience who doesn't stick around for after credit scenes, Kang is gone. Like, he was beaten. If assuming you even saw Ant Man, like Kang is done. Like, you don't need to bring him back. You can just pretend after credit scene didn't happen. Loki, maybe they'll finish him
Yeah,
off into that show.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you could just kind of close the door on that if you wanted to. I mean, it would probably have some backlash now. I mean, you
Yeah,
could also recast, I guess, but
I guess. I don't know.
because like if you like if worst came to worst, you could just. I mean, I hate to say it, but just get another person to do it.
Yeah,
But
like I don't. I like Kang a lot. Obviously, I like Jonathan Majors in that role, but like I don't want them to rewrite their entire vision for the entire next couple of phases just because this one actor did something like like. But if there's an easy pivot like Doctor Doom, you could easily work into an
yeah,
Avengers level threat. Like,
yes,
it just feels right to do it that way. But I don't know. And obviously, there's a pretty big gap between Fantastic Four and Kang Dynasty, and then Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. So there's gonna be stuff in between there. There's a Spider-Man movie rumored to be sometime summer of 25. We might get X-Men in there somewhere. We might that Armor Wars movie is happening at some point,
oh yeah,
sometime in
I
there.
forgot about that.
I'm gonna guess November 25 at the earliest. Um, there's however many other random characters they want to throw at us. Uh, you can get a fifth Thor movie. Why not?
Just throw one in there. Why
A
not?
third Doctor Strange. Just, I hope, comes out before Secret Wars, because that seems like it's going to be a big deal.
Probably.
Um, yeah, like I'm not I'm not necessarily worried about any of these movies. Honestly, the one I'm maybe most worried about is Deadpool 3 for a couple of reasons. One, you never really see movies get moved up like this, but which is especially interesting because, like I said, it only started filming a couple of weeks ago, and that just seems like most Marvel movies are filmed like a year and a half, 2 years in advance, and this is just like barely a year. So that's interesting. I wonder if this restructuring was like in response to that filming like going well, or if they knew that going into the filming. I'm not sure. Also, there is a writer's strike currently happening, and which means
Yeah,
that Ryan
I
Reynolds
forgot.
can't improvise appropriately, apparently, on set. I heard some back and forth about if that's actually legit. And there's a thing where like if he there's someone tried to explain on Twitter where it's like there's some loophole where like if he if he like ad libs and then this like third party person like writes it down and gives it to the director can tell him to do it that way next time or something weird like that. There's some weird way to get around the writer's strike
It's
since
so
since
unnecessarily complicated.
yeah, I
Though.
know. Like I I think the studios should just buckle down and just they're not even asking for much. They're just asking for royalties on streaming and a 2% increase on pay. But that's pretty much from what I can tell. That's all they're wanting. That seems reasonable to me. You're all making billions of
Yeah.
dollars on these shows. Come on, man.
Right? I mean, they are doing the writing. I mean, there's no show without writing, so I
Right?
get it. But
But like some people are legitimately like, oh, Chat GPT and all the other AI can do the job for them. No, it cannot.
Chat GPT.
No. Oh boy.
Not yet.
No, like maybe in 5 years, but you need those writers now if you're gonna want content
Yeah,
in a
you
year and a
need
half.
them now. Yeah.
Oh, and that was another thing. It's interesting because I'm pretty sure Captain America 4 either is almost done or wrapped up filming kind of recently. So it's interesting that that was further in production than Deadpool 3 was, but that got pushed to after Deadpool now. So yeah, and I think the Thunderbolts has I think that's going through a complete restructure. There were rumors about the team being completely revamped. Like Ghost might not even be on it, even though she was the most unique one of the ones on it. Uh, I still think Abomination should be involved somehow. Obviously, Zemo is going to
Yeah.
be in there somehow, but like they should be on the poster. um, yeah, like I said, I'm not like at this moment. I'm not really worried about the stuff announced. It's just ever since March of 2020, it's been a little exhausting. Like seeing just basically every other week being like, oh, this movie got delayed. These movies are getting restructured.
Yes.
This is coming. That's yeah,
It's been a little while, but yeah, just to kind of see things just get a complete shakeup, just kind of like, oh, okay.
yeah, um, yeah. Uh, Something else that could potentially happen between Fantastic Four and Secret Wars. Apparently, Disney got the rights back to Hulk movies,
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
we could
Cool.
finally get that World War Hulk movie that people have been wanting.
Yeah.
Yeah, um, and if you want to watch it, Incredible Hulk is on Disney Plus now, so you can go watch
I could.
that.
I won't, but
No,
I could.
no, yeah. Um, there's like two cool scenes, and then. But if you want to know the whole story, the leader, the villain, the guy who becomes the leader at the end of that movie is going to be in Captain America. So, and Red Hulk
Oh,
might show up at some point. So you
maybe.
gotta,
Yeah, do I?
no.
I'm sure. I'm sure they'll make a reference because they know most people are got no idea what that is.
Yep. Like especially since William Hurt isn't even obviously he died, but he's not even gonna be playing Ross anymore. So just everyone got recast. It's fine.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
No.
I find it hilarious though that on all the set photos, Harrison Ford does not have a mustache, which is like the one thing Thunderbolt Ross is known for.
Harrison Ford's like, I'll do it, but you can't make me wear the mustache.
Like maybe they'll do a reverse Henry Cavill and just CG went onto him. Or
Gosh.
maybe.
Guess you could.
um, okay. Last topic I have. Uh, we talked last time about the fact that Netflix has officially implemented their ridiculous thing about, you know,
Wi-Fi sharing.
Wi-Fi
Yeah.
sharing. So dumb. And it's kind of working because apparently Netflix had the highest number of new user signups since 2019.
What?
Yep.
I do not believe that. Are you kidding me?
That's what they're reporting.
I I haven't used that like ever since that came up. I just haven't used it. That's wild.
So I found a loophole. Apparently,
Oh,
according like as of right now, I don't know if this is gonna be like a timed thing or if I'll need to like take my device and connect it to the home network every any given time period. But as of right now, I can open Netflix on my laptop and hook that up to my TV. So at least right now, I can still watch Netflix on a big screen, even though I don't live at my home network.
hmm.
It could be a thing where like if a month goes by and this computer hasn't been connected to that Wi-Fi, maybe it'll lock me out. I need to redo that. But as of right now, that is a workaround, which kind of makes sense because your phone and your and computer and laptops, those are meant to be portable devices. So it'd be kind of weird if you
Right,
take it with you on the go and you just can't access Netflix outside your
right. That
network.
was
Yeah,
yeah. Because that was something I was thinking about. Like, how are they gonna do this with mobile? But
I don't know, but again, it could just be a temporary thing. But you don't if this seems consistent, like if July comes around and I haven't like actually connected Netflix to my home network and it's still working fine, then you don't need you don't need to to pay for a new service just to watch, just to
yeah,
be a different household, even though you are one of the five profiles. That you don't need
which
that.
is still stupid.
Yes,
Whatever. My
like
thing is, I don't believe people are still buying it. Do you think it's possible because just everyone had Netflix for the last 3 years? That oh, it's the most people have added on just because nobody was adding what they already had.
that's possible.
Because that's the
Um,
only thing I can think of. Because I'm like, there's no way people are like, you know what? I just want Netflix now.
that is, that's a good point. That is interesting because I think, like, since 2020, they've been reporting like pretty, like, steady decline of new users. So
Right.
this being the most like single month increase since 2019, like that's probably true, but it still might be a lower amount than like at their actual peak.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Because it's not necessarily the highest they've ever had. It's just the highest new users.
yeah.
Yeah, and that probably doesn't even take out people that might be like, just be like, oh, forget it, then I don't want it anymore.
Hmm. I don't blame them. Although I
No.
did notice today that, which is another knock on Max, Ben 10, the original Ben 10 show is on Netflix now, for some reason.
Wasn't it on Max?
It was. Maybe it still is. I don't know, but it's on Netflix.
Hold on. Wait, are you serious?
Yep,
That doesn't even make any sense.
correct. Why the heck are Justice League, the Batman show, and Ben 10 on
Yeah.
Netflix?
Yes,
I don't
Justice
know.
League and Justice League Unlimited, both on Netflix. And okay, it looks like okay. I think Ben. Okay, the original Ben 10's still on here.
Okay, is Alien Force and
Still
everything?
on Max. Yeah. Oh wait. Okay. I got Ben 10. I got the old one. Got the move. Oh, it's only the original and like the weird like 2016 probably
No
like
Alien Force?
weird looking spinoff. Not even there's no Alien Force. There's no Ultimate Alien. I see.
Huh.
That's weird. I don't like it. That makes no sense.
Okay. You own that, but whatever.
Whatever.
Can you,
Whatever.
while you have that up, could you check to see if Superman the animated series is on Netflix?
on Netflix. Let me
Sorry,
see.
on Max.
Oh no, did they take Superman the animated series
I
off?
thought I heard they were thinking about it.
It's still on here.
Okay,
Yeah, I was about to say. I'm like, I was watching
cool.
it like not too long ago, but yeah, it's
Okay,
still on here.
okay, cool.
It's on here.
Um,
Superman and Lois. They still got all the original Superman movies.
Good.
Yeah.
And then that My Adventures with Superman show is starting in July.
Yeah. They released like the intro for it, and it looks very anime, and I'm
Yes,
for
I like that.
it.
Yeah, and I think it's starting on July 6th, and then like with next day streaming on Max, which I was when it
Yes,
was
which I
announced
like.
as Adult Swim, I was like, will it just not be on Max? But no, it's coming next day, which is good.
Yeah, okay. Because like you guys, like, I was like, you guys know, like, no one's gonna like actually watch that
No,
Adult Swim, right? Like,
no,
come on, guys. Who even has cable anymore?
right?
Come on.
But no, it's
No, but I'm excited for that. It actually looks pretty interesting. Like
mhm.
and again, it's been a while since we've had like a legit Superman show. So like, yeah,
Since the '90s,
right,
actually.
right,
Like,
yeah, like '94. So like, yeah,
they had like
whenever.
three Batman cartoons, but no.
Yes, yes. Like what? Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's like the
4.
Brave and the Bold. Yeah, well, is it four?
Well, I mean, Batman
Because
the
it's
Animated
the
Series, and
Batman.
then Batman Beyond,
Brave. Oh yeah, that's right. Batman Beyond. That's right. That's right.
and
Oh well,
then
there's also because there's also Beware the Batman show.
Brave for
There's the
1, 2,
Brave and the
3.
Bold.
Yeah,
There's the Batman, and then yeah, okay, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And
that's
then
crazy.
I think Cape Crusader is coming at some point on
Oh
Amazon.
yeah, I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, cool.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, while you can watch Ben 10 on Netflix, I guess,
Gosh, makes no sense.
or get rid of it. It's really your call. I don't really
Get
care.
rid of it. Teach Netflix a lesson.
Don't be part of the problem. Don't get don't get a new subscription. You don't need to
No,
watch it.
no.
There's nothing on there important enough that you can't either find somewhere else or just not watch.
Facts. Or just mooch off somebody else and just binge the show real quick.
Right. Okay. I think that's all the topics I have to cover. Anything else you want to bring up or discuss?
I don't think so, but I feel like I'm gonna forget something as soon as I do. But it's okay. No, we're good.
All right. So yeah, watch Across the Spider Verse. It's amazing.
Yes,
Do
it's
that.
will make your life better,
it,
guaranteed.
it will. You'll feel slightly worse when you realize you can't see the ending just yet, but then you'll feel better once you realize it's coming out next March. So just yeah.
Yes,
But it might get delayed, but hopefully not. Yeah.
it'll be sooner than the distance between this movie to the last one.
True.
That is
Yeah.
probably the only thing that will make you feel better.
Yes.
Other than that,
But yeah, watch it. Prove us wrong because we said we didn't have faith in the movie. We thought that it would actually make less money than the Transformers and the Flash movie. Although those movies are actually tracking to have lower openings than Across the Spider-Verse, which is
I have heard
interesting.
that. Yeah, I
So
heard Flash is kind of supposedly planning to underwhelm the box office so far. So that is
yeah.
there goes my prediction.
Transformers is it did well enough, but not as well as people thought it would. Which is I'm gonna see both those at some point soon.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I just want good movies, but I also
Yeah.
want great movies to do well. So
Yes.
Cross the Spider-Verse is a great movie.
Because again, the amount of effort in this movie, it needs to be rewarded.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so with that, we will see you all next time.
Take care.